Hi all! If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today we are going to be playing with and getting sort of a first impression of the new Melt Cosmetics Gemini 2 palette. If that sounds good to you, then keep watching. All right, guys, so like I said, we are playing with the Gemini 2 palette today. I have not done anything with this palette yet, so this will definitely be a first impression. I haven't even swatched any of the shades yet. That's how like new it is. If you watched my Sephora spring sale haul part 1, then you will know that I was waiting on another shipment. I had ordered some things and they had shipped everything sort of piecemeal. It was taking forever. I got a whole email being like, oh, we're so sorry for the inconvenience. You'll get it when you get it, basically. I did get it this past weekend. And so let me show you what she looks like. Here she is. And I'm sure, you know, I wanted to get this up earlier for you guys, but I'm sure you guys, if you are, you know, watching YouTube and are interested in this palette, you've probably seen what the palette looks like. But there she is. Anywho, she is a stunner. I was on the fence about getting this, and I'm kind of glad that I watched a few reviews before I made my own decision on it, because once I saw the shades in action, I was like, actually, that looks very, very interesting. I'm enjoying that. The shades, like in contrast to the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 Rose palette, such a mouthful. That palette, which I have and I've done a review for, so I will leave a link. I'll either leave a card or I'll leave a link in the description for you guys. That palette for me seemed, when I was using it, was very samey in the tones. And I was worried that this would feel very similar. They do have some similar shades in here, but what I will say is that I feel like Melt, and I mean it fits with Melt's aesthetic, is that they have created a palette that is like those rosy tones, but with some grunge to them, with some oomph to them, you know, a little bit of an edge. And that really comes from like these shades here, specifically the shade Mateo. You know, like a really grungy olive. I mean, stunning. As far as what it's like compared to Gemini 1, I will say that having seen swatches and having the palette myself, and I'll show you guys what they look like against each other at the end of the video. I'd say that the greens in this one are a little more brown leaning, if that makes sense. They are a little bit more almost like leaf, dark rose leaf shades, which makes sense for the other tones in the palette. So let's do some swatches. I'll wipe my hand off here so I can, of course I swatched before I was ready to swatch. All right, let's do some swatches. So first we're going to start off with the lighter tones. So the first 3 shades we have is Bella, Ladylike, Sweetheart, and I think that's Gemelas. So those are the first 4 shades, and these are just like super rosy tones in the palette. All right, and so I decided to see if I could fit all of these on my hand, the rest of the palette. Semi-successful. So next up we have Lovesick, Schmood, Alex Queen, Mateo, Boy Mom, and Almond Eyes. You guys can see those. And I have to say, Schmood, that's calling my name, guys. That's calling my name. It is so stunning. And as you can see, these are incredibly pigmented, like, you know, standard Melt formula. And I know that for a lot of people, the Melt formula is a bit, it's a bit iffy. I have always gotten along with the Melt palette formula. I've never had any super, you know, like major issues with it. Every palette that I own from them, I enjoy using. So for me, the purchase of this wasn't so much a quality issue, it's just as a question of like, is it adding to my collection? And, you know, do I actually like truly want it? That was really the question for me. And after seeing some reviews and thinking on it, I decided, yes, I do want it. So let's get started on the look. I decided that I really want to find a way to incorporate these greens into the look along with the rose tones, but I also want to make sure that it doesn't get too muddy. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to go in first with Sweetheart, which is this third shade here. Sort of a mid-tone pink. So it's not super light, but it's not super dark either. And I feel like that's just going to give me a nice base for what I want to do. And I am using my Sonia G Crease Pro for this. And I'm just lightly applying this. I tapped off my brush because, you know, natural hair brushes pick up a lot of product, and melt shadows are incredibly pigmented. So let me zoom you guys in a little bit more. Hello. Let's do the other eye. And I have already primed my eyes and all that good stuff, so I'm just going right in. And I used my normal primer that I've been using lately, which is my Natasha Denona base, which I've really been enjoying. I've heard that the About Face Beauty primer is really good. If you guys have tried that, let me know. I'm really interested in the About Face brand. It's one of the few celebrity brands that I actually have piqued my interest enough where I really would be willing to like spend money on it. So if there's anything that you guys are interested in seeing from that brand, let me know, because I might place an order and just see what, you know, try some things out. I really want to try their liquid shadows. I've really kind of fallen in love with liquid shadows recently, so I really want to try them. I'm now going in with Gemelas. Is that correct? If I'm saying that wrong, please correct me in the comments, guys. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. But I think that's how you pronounce it. I will say that already, and this is going to be really controversial to say, and you know, you guys can roast me in the comments if you want. I don't mind. You know, opinions are opinions. I was a bit underwhelmed by the Patrick Ta palette. I was expecting far more from it than what I got. I don't dislike it. It just wasn't as much of a wow for me as I was expecting it to be. And I say that after having used it a few times now. So it wasn't just like the time that I used it on camera. It was also the times that I had used it on my own. And I think it's okay. Like I think first, and when I say that, what I mean by that is the formula of the mattes is stunning. But I don't know. I just was kind of overwhelmed overall with it. I wasn't as excited by it as I thought I was going to be once I really started using it. Next, I'm going in with Boy Mom just to deepen up, the outer corner here. And that is that really deep, grungy, greeny brown. Or I guess you would call it a brown tone green. Because it's definitely a green. I really like that. I like that a lot. And as I am tapping up my brush, and I'm using my go-to brush for when I'm doing outer corner work, which is my Rougher number 13. And Rougher recently had a sale, and I really had to talk myself out of buying more of these brushes because I think eventually I will. I don't technically need any more 13s. I have like 3 or 4. I think 3. I think I have 3. But I wouldn't mind having more, honestly. I'm really enjoying how that's looking. Really am. Okay. Now I want to incorporate Mateo and Schmood. I think what I'm going to do is gonna take my other go-to rougher, which is another brush that I wish I had bought more of during the sale. Like if I wish I had like, but no, Amira, no. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to take Mateo and I'm going to wet my brush with my setting spray. And I'm gonna go on the outer part of my lid. Now I will say this about Melt. I'm not the biggest fan of their shimmer formula, their metallics. I think certain palettes metallics are better than others. I will say that the metallics in the original Gemini aren't my fave, as far as like the ones, not the deeper tones, not the greeny tones. I actually quite like those, but like the lighter tones in the neutral section of the palette, those metallics aren't my fave. They're a little bit they're really dry, and they don't really adhere. Like I feel like even when I would stick, use something to help them stick, they would still be a little bit dry and flaky. So even though I love that palette is one of my all-time favorite palettes. And again, like I said, I don't have major issues with Melt's formula. I will say, I think, that if there was a room for improvement, it would probably be being consistent with their shimmer formula as far as like the quality and the usability of them, because it does vary from palette to palette, I feel. All right, so wipe my brush off and I'm going to use the other side and I'm going to dip into Schmood. And I'm going to wet my brush again. And how is this looking? It's looking really pretty. And I'm going to put this on the inner corner of the eye. And there are only 2 metallics in this palette, which I know for some people that might not be enough. That doesn't bother me. I think it's because I feel like Melt does mattes better, and I think they know they do mattes better than they do metallics. With their brand and their products, I don't really mind the fact that they are more focused on, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of Boy Mom just to blend these edges out so that they are a bit more seamless together now. I'm actually really happy with that. I do have some fallout, which I'm not surprised by because their formula is so pigmented and you get quite a bit of kick up. So that is the finished look. What I'm gonna do now is I think I'm gonna grab a liner. I think I'm gonna do green in my waterline, and then we're gonna put some mascara on and I will come back and we'll do. Guys, I am back. I have put some green in my waterline. I used the House Labs green and Grime. I love this pencil. Their pencils, House Labs pencils, are actually really lovely. They're very creamy and pigmented. You don't have to like go back and forth a bunch of times. The color lays down really nicely. So now let's get to the lower lash line. And I think for the lower lash line, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go in with Lovesick. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna go in with Gemini underneath here, like so. There we go. And then I'm gonna take, now I'm gonna take Lovesick and bring that on the, and my brush I'm using is way too big for this, but I was being lazy about digging for a smaller brush. So let's not be lazy, Amira, and pick up a smaller brush. All right, I'm gonna take this tiny little baby brush. This is the number 23 from Rougher. That's better, Amira. Don't be lazy. Taking a little bit of Boy Mom just to marry those edges. Perfect. I'm actually going to take my concealer brush just to clean up right here. And then I think as a highlight, I'm gonna definitely put some, yeah, I think I'm gonna put Schmood. Yeah, I'm gonna put Schmood on the lower lash line as well. Let me wet my brush. But I'm not putting it in my inner corner. I'm gonna put it just here. And this is my favorite way to do shimmer on the lower lash line. Sir, are you trying to leave? If you leave, you gotta stay gone. You can't come back. Because I'm not gonna get up again. Are you trying to get up? All right, let me let you out. Hold, please. All right, cat has been released. He has been placed into the wild. That is the living room. I think I'm going to do a highlighter, but I'm going to actually use the highlighter that I'm going to use on my face. I haven't done my highlighter on my face yet, but I'm going to be using my Pat McGrath Divine Rose Ultra Glow highlighter. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that here. Like so. And then I'm going to put on mascara and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I am back. I put my mascara on and then I lined my lips a bit with my Pat McGrath Permagel Liner in Cosmic Vibes because I'm thinking, guys, I might use this pink. It might be too light. I want to try it. I haven't worn this yet. This is the Merit Signature Lipstick in Baby. And I told you how I bought this and it was kind of like a departure for me. And it is, but I still want to like see how I can make it work for me. Because I feel like I can. I felt like with a liner should actually look really pretty. These smell amazing. They smell like candy or something. Very nice. But I used a slightly darker lip liner that still has some, it's still like pinky toned, but it's more like that pinky purple. I don't know if this goes with this lip. I mean this eye. It doesn't really. I mean, no, but I mostly just wanted to try this lip and I'm actually not mad at it, guys. What do you think? Do you like this tone on me? Well, especially with like a pencil like this. I think it's actually quite pretty. I also brought over Tiger, which is more of a brownie tone. Should we try Tiger? Let's try Tiger. All right. I did not bring a pencil for Tiger, but let's give it a shot and see how we feel about it. It's the more brownie tone. I think this will look better with the eye. It's gonna look a little messy though because I don't have a liner. What I like about this formula is it doesn't build up. Like as you see, it went on very, very sheer. And the more you apply it, the more what do you guys think? I actually really like this lip, even though it's more like brownie. I think it pulls in the grungy vibes of the face, of like the eyes, really well. What do you think? Oh, I like it. Okay. I guess this is it, guys. This is the finished look. Let me zoom you out. This is the finished look. These are the eyes. I have to say, just in use, in like playing with it, applying the shadows, I found this to be a more enjoyable experience than the Patrick Ta palette. What can I say, guys? Like I said, I am one of those rare birds. I really do enjoy the Melt eyeshadow palette formula. I just do. It works. We get along well. We've always gotten along well. It's never been an issue for me. So I'm actually loving this look more. And for me, When it comes to rosy tones, this is more my speed. I like a rosy tone, but with a bit of grunge to it, with a bit of a little dirt thrown on it, you know, a little something else going on. Because for me, I don't tend to gravitate towards super rosy pinky tones. I don't think, I don't think they look bad on me or anything. It's just like not the aesthetic that I tend to reach for or be drawn to automatically. So for me, this is how I would wear those types of tones. And I mean, granted, the look that I did is very green leaning, but I did use very rosy shades. As you saw, I used the really dark or rosy shades to create this look, and I got this really grungy vibe. I really like it. Just based on first impressions, again, this is my first time using this palette, first time swatching it. I really enjoyed it. Now let's do some comparison of the greens with the Gemini one, which is, I have it in the old packaging. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I probably will eventually pick up the new one. I've had this one forever. I got this when it first launched, so this is quite an old palette. So I could see myself eventually retiring this just for the age factor and getting the new one. But also I really love the new packaging. It's so pretty, so pretty. All right, so let's swatch the greens. Let's start off with Almond Eyes from Gemini 2. And then we're going to do Leo from Gemini 1. And should we do Fire OG? Why not? Let's do Fire OG as well. Okay, so this is, what did I say? Almond Eyes from Gemini 2. And then this is Leo and Fire OG from the Gemini 1 palettes. And again, my Gemini palette is quite old, so I wouldn't say that these are necessarily, how do I put it? I mean, I wouldn't say these are like the worst swatches ever, but you could probably, with the newer one, you could probably get an even smoother swatch, you know? So those are the green mattes from both palettes. Now I'm gonna swatch the two metallics, the two green metallics, so you can see what I mean when I say that the tone is a bit grungier. So Mateo and then Goals. And I'm also going to swatch the browns in here. So I'm going to swatch Boy Mum. And I'm going to swatch Cupcake, which I know is quite a great deal lighter, but just to give you guys a frame of reference for how lighter. So this is Mateo. This is Goals. This is Boy Mum. And this is Cupcake. And as you can see, the brown in Gemini 2 goes far deeper, and there's no black in this palette, so I think for me this functions very much like a black would function. But as you can see, Cupcake is actually quite warm. Like in the palette, it doesn't seem that warm, but next to Boy Mom, it is very warm and very light in comparison. So yeah, I will say for me, because of the fact that these tones aren't that similar, like they're green, so we know they're greens, they're similar in that sense, but the tones are very, very different. And because of that, I felt comfortable enough picking up Gemini 2 and not feeling like I was, repeating myself in the sense of having both palettes. So yeah. Let me know down in the comments, guys, did you pick up Gemini 2? Are you thinking of picking up Gemini 2? Did this change your mind? Are you like, I wasn't, but I am now? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.